Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining me. My name is Dawn and I'm the Ginger Cat Stitcher. This is my first ever Flosstube and I just want to welcome you and thank you for spending some time with me. A little bit about me. Again, my name is Dawn and I live in Central Texas. I have been cross-stitching, rug hooking, wool applique for about 30 years now. I used to do a lot of cross-stitching back in the 90s, and then I discovered rug hooking and did that for many years, still doing that. In fact, I've been doing that for many years. And then wool applique, and then just recently been so inspired to get back into cross stitch. So that's what this channel will be all about, is my cross stitching, and then I also include my rug hooking, my wool applique. I also enjoy making primitive dolls and all kinds of other things. So primarily about cross stitching, but then I'll include all my other fun stitching related things that I like to do as well. And the other thing that I look forward to bringing on to this channel is tutorials. I love finishing items and finding new, unique to me anyways, items to finish, and I love sharing that with others. So look forward to lots of tutorials coming your way on how to finish your pieces. And also, when I get obsessed about things like I am about cross stitch at the moment, I like to learn everything I can about it. So I've been doing a lot of reading, and I would like to also share some of those books with you. So I'll bring those on as well. And so today I wanted to start out by showing you what my recent finishes are and my new start for 2024. And I've come up with a new plan for 2024 on how to get more finished. So I'm doing kind of the 5-day method. I heard some other Flosstubers talking about, the number 5, and do things for 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, whatever you want to put into it. So as of now, my plan is one project for 5 days, and then I'll move on to another project for 5 days, and we'll see how much I can get finished this year with that. So let's go ahead and take a look at my finishes for 2023. All right, my 2023 finishes. This is the first one. It's Alphabet with Hair. It's a freebie pattern from La Di Da. And I just used a thrift store frame, and I coffee dyed this fabric and Mod Podged it to the back. And then I used 14 count Aida fabric that I coffee dyed, glued it to a piece of cardboard, and then glued that onto the fabric. And I just love the dimensional look that gives. So there's that one. And then the next one is cute little Whitaker. He's from the Animal Cracker series by Stacy Nash Primitives. I don't remember what I stitched him on. It is just kind of a gray even weave. I don't know. He was like my first, second thing that I stitched. So I'm going to be finishing him off the way that Stacy Nash gives instructions for, making him into a cute little stuffy. But that's Whitaker, and I used all the called for threads on that one. And then I did this one. It's called Because It's Spring, and that is available from the Heart on Etsy. And this is on 14 count coffee dyed Aida. And I just had this thrift store frame that just lucky happy accident was a perfect size for it. So I just framed that myself, and I used the called for DMC threads on that. And then I did the Winter Salt Box. It's a free pattern from Pinker and Pumpkin Quilting, and she has just the most adorable patterns. And I also did the Spring Green Salt Box. And for this one, I just cut a piece of cardboard and did some green fabric around it, 14 count coffee dyed Aida. So both of these are 14 count coffee dyed Aida. Using the called for DMC floss. And I did Priscilla and Chelsea Stitching with the Housewives, their method of you glue a metal washer, and then I glued some magnets onto the front of a basket that I have in my entryway. And so I'm going to switch these out for the seasons. So I just have to make the winter one, and I'll have winter and spring. And then I did a Quaker flower, and this is a freebie from the Stitcherhood. And this one was so much fun. It was a nice quick stitch. Not sure how I'm going to finish this. I think probably a little pillow to go in a doll bowl. So I have that one. And then last but not least, I have Kind Words. This is a pattern by Lori Brecklin of Not Forgotten Farm, and I purchased this off of Etsy. And I have a really fun finish idea for this. So check out my video next week, and it will be a finishing tutorial for Kind Words by Not Forgotten Farm. And I have a couple other pieces that I finished throughout the year, but I no longer have them here to show you. They were gifts for my wonderfully fantastic mom who lives in Pennsylvania. Okay, so for my stitches for 2024, I am working on the Adventure Sampler by Sambry Stitches. And I bought the whole kit when I was in Portland, Oregon, visiting my daughter. So it came with the gorgeous fabric. This is her hand-dyed Aida. And then her hand-dyed Bestitch Me silks. And oh, the colors are just so beautiful and such a fun pattern with all kinds of things from Oregon. So just have a little baby start on this. But that is the first one in the works. Then the second one that I have is Little House Needleworks, the Little Sheep Virtue #1. And this I am stitching on Bee's Knees by Seraphim Fabrics, and it is a 16 count Aida. So I am so close to being finished. This was my New Year's Day start. I just have a little bit of red to put in, and that will be done. I am going to, rather than finish off each one individually, I'm going to do the whole series on the Bee's Knees. And I am stitching this with the called for DMC threads. And then my next one in the works is called Love Stitching, and that's by Tinsel Cross Stitch. She's on Etsy, and love to stitch. I love to stitch this. It's going to be a big one. I'm stitching it on 16 count, and it's going to be 15.8 centimeters by 51 centimeters. So again, I'm so sorry. I don't know the fabric that I'm stitching on. I did not keep that information at the time, but I am using DMC 3750, and it's a monochromatic piece. So I'm just loving this one. And it has a cat, and anything with a cat, I'm a fan. And then my final one that I'm working on right now is Pretty Bird by the Artsy Housewife. And oh, the colors just remind me of Pennsylvania so much. I said earlier my mom and dad live in Pennsylvania, and this just reminds me so much. The colors on this are gorgeous. And so that's it. That's all I'm working on for right now. Of course, I'm going to be adding more, but that's it for right now. And the next thing that I wanted to share was 2 books that I got off of Amazon. They're workbooks. The first one is Charting My Needle Art Legacy, a guided needlework journal and inventory notebook for my heirloom stitching pieces after I pass away. This is by Artith Design, and I'll put a link to this down below. What I loved about it was in the front part of this workbook are prompts. What propels you to create? What are 5 things that you cannot live without in your stitching area or craft room? So all kinds of fun little prompts for you to journal about. And I just think, oh, I just want to share what I'm thinking and feeling and what's going on in my world while I'm making these things, and what a perfect way to do that. And I just think, you know, if I had my Aunt Anne, who was a wonderful stitcher, my grandmother was a wonderful stitcher and doll maker, my other grandmother was a seamstress. We have a little visit here from Mr. Finley. If I just knew what they were thinking when they made things, I just think that that would be so wonderful. And then in the back of the book, it has a place for you to record your different pieces that you make, what type of needlework it is. You can put a photo here if you want, or describe it. You get to explain where it is in the house and who you would like to have it after you pass away, and then any notes. And this right here would be a great place to write down you know, what you were thinking when you made it. I have a hooked rug that I was working on when Princess Diana passed away, and I've told my girls that, you know, well, when I was working on this area, I came on the news that she passed away, and it's such a deep connection to that rug because it was such a memorable moment in history when I was working on it. And then the other one, same by Artith Design. This one's a stitching sampler notebook for keeping track of my sampler stitching. And again, it's another workbook where I just get to write down what the pattern was, and, you know, was it a joy to stitch, and any other notes that I would like to put down for it. So I just thought these were 2 beautiful and fun workbooks. They were, I think they're around $10 each. And again, I will put that link in Amazon. So that's it for video number 1. Thank you so very much for joining me, spending time with me, and I really hope to see you back here next week. Thank you. Happy stitching.